All right, folks. Well, welcome back to the channel. You found us here at KGB Customs, home of some of what we believe is the best custom gun content on the web. We share these custom guns in hopes of sharing some knowledge, and we hope to catalog some of the great pieces that we have the privilege of handling as they come through our shop. We appreciate you joining us. Today, we've got a nice little carry gun here, a Commander, built by a man whose work I've admired as long as I've been in the business. And even before I was really into building 1911s, I admired it. Lou Biondo, Business End Customs, Peabody, Massachusetts. Lou has been in the biz for quite a while. I believe he's about 20 years deep on tinkering with the platform. I'm not sure when he formed Business End Customs proper and started building full house 1911s on the regular, but he's certainly been at it a while now. This is serial number 8 of his frames. I believe his frames are machined for him by JEM, like many of us who have marking variances. To have frames manufactured on the smaller scale, you're usually either dealing with Caspian or JEM. This gun is a Commander length, so 4 1/4 inch barrel, slightly shorter than a 5-inch government model. Same length grip as a government model. This is a Commander sized gun in 45 ACP. This gun is textured all over in what Lou has called the Roman flute. Very easy to see where he came up with that name. As you look at the texture on the front strap, the back strap, the top of the slide, even the cocking serrations, they're a Romanesque flute, like a Roman column would be fluted. Lou's even gone so far as to flute the bottom dust cover of the slide, which is a really nice additional touch. Of course, all that's there for is style points. It's not, doesn't serve a function, but something nice to kind of tie the fluting in from the top of the slide to add it there on the bottom. From the front, we see we've got a bright polished flush cut crown, Lou's monogram bushing with his logo on it. The front sight is one of Lou's white ball sights. Of course, white ball sights kind of started, well, I mean, they started a long time before anyone put them on a 1911, but white ball sights on 1911s pretty much started with Chuck Rogers. He certainly made them popular. Chuck, of course, had a lot of influence on Lou and still does. I know they're pretty good friends, and they think pretty highly of each other's work. And Lou would start manufacturing his own white ball sights after getting Chuck to make him some early on in his career. This gun also has a Business End Custom Novak rear sight, so that fits in a Novak cut, but is wholly Lou's design. Of course, it has a nice cocking shoulder, is pretty well dehorned, snag free. This one has a U notch to go along with that bead style front sight. The slide top has a pretty aggressive flat top in 3 flutes on the top. So there's 3 ball cut trenches in the top there for texture and to diffuse light, etc. This gun has a Barstow match barrel in it and EGW bushing up front. It's a tight little booger. We're a very well built gun by Lou, as all of his that I've handled are. This gun has what looks to be a heavily modified 10-8 or similar machined slide stop. That slide stop has been nubbed with the FBI style recess in the frame so that the pin does not stick out this side of the frame. The trigger appears to be a medium greeter. This is serial number 8 from Lou. Lou did not build these in order, so it's not like this is a super early one. I didn't get a date from Lou yet on when this gun was manufactured, but I seem to recall it being 6-8 years old or so. This gun has an EGW beaver tail grip safety that Lou has shortened and softened quite a bit. Of course, we've got all machined internals with a lightweight Delta hammer there, and quality sear and disconnector. Probably extreme engineering if I had to guess. We've got a square bottom, oversized firing pin stop in there, oversized ejector for sure function and sure positive ejection. Thumb safety on this gun is kind of an interesting piece. You'll notice it's a lowered paddle, so the paddle doesn't sit clear at the top. Now, this is not as low as the gun sight design thumb safeties that the paddle is clear at the bottom of the plate on the side of the thumb safety. It's just lowered by a little over 1/8 of an inch or so. That was designed by a gentleman by the name of Dr. Barry Grayson. Barry Grayson was a dentist who had a lot of influence on and played around with custom 1911s, and he got George at EGW to manufacture this thumb safety he designed, which was essentially just an EGW thumb safety, which was a quality part already, machined from bar stock, and he lowered that thumb shelf. I think it was 100,000ths of an inch or something like that. It was just lowered down to kind of the midpoint on the plate of the thumb safety. A neat design, one that I know that Lou really liked and used quite a few of these. Lou, of course, contours the paddle significantly and shortens the paddle this way so that the thumb safety is not so long, but it is still plenty of purchase there for engaging and disengaging that thumb safety. And it has a really nice snick to it. Other features on this gun, it does have a slightly extended and nicely beveled mag catch. The front strap has been high cut up until just a little bit past flush with the bottom of the trigger guard. So not a super high cut, but a high cut. Lou does a nice job of dehorning these. You'll notice the fangs down here at the bottom, as I like to call them, are completely softened and removed, and a nice magwell bevel. The slide has a machine bevel on the bottom of it, as well as a generous carry bevel all the way around. The gun is finished in Cerakote. That's Lou's preferred finish. Lou largely works on 1911s, but has done tons of work on Glock platforms, even going so far as to having his own frames made. He's done a lot of reduction work, stippling work, even custom slide work, etc., and has released some full house Glocks under his banner. He used to do quite a bit of work on Smith & Wesson M&Ps, but I don't think he does anymore. These days, Lou is back deep in the 1911 game. I think he's still doing some Glock modifications for guys. He does have a CNC mill in-house now, which gives him a lot more capability than he would have had when this gun was built on a manual machine. I know he's done some of his own grips. These are Harrison design grips, which just happen to follow the fluting pattern very closely to Lou's texturing on this gun. The Roman flutes kind of gave way to Lou's Morse code texture in the years after. The one thing I like about both of those textures is they do give you some purchase, especially in radial torque like this. They give you good purchase. They are really as snag free as you can make a gun and still have some kind of texture on it. Checkering is my preferred texture, certainly 100%, but I understand the desire for a more snag free texture on a gun you intend to carry under a t-shirt or what have you. And this Roman flute texture does that in spades. A little bit about Lou. This is right off his website. I'll just read it to you here. This is a quote from his website. I started out tinkering with pistols as a hobby back in 2005. The 1911 platform intrigued me to the point that it started to become an obsession. All I wanted to do was to learn as much as I could about it. Over the years, my hobby has turned into a career. I would call myself a self-taught pistolsmith who learned by doing, but I have been very lucky to have become friends with some of the top smiths in the industry over the years, who offered guidance that helped me hone my skills and that pushed me to be one of the best. I truly believe my desire to build a pistol as close to perfection as humanly possible drives me to make the next one better than the last. My mission is simple: to offer the highest quality custom pistols that are truly unique, with an emphasis on being functional defensive pistols, a fighting gun. And that comes through very clearly in a build like this. Lou has built some very flashy guns. I think what he really truly loves to build are just honest fighting guns. and this is that. This gun is finished in a two-tone Cerakote. I believe it's like a graphite black. I don't have the build sheet yet. It's like a graphite black over, I believe, what he calls a sinister gray. And the gun has a little wear on that Cerakote, but not much, indicating to me that it hasn't been carried or used much. I'll show you my carry gun, which is also finished in Cerakote, and you will see a lot of bare steel on that gun. Now, granted, this is a gun that I built, 12, 13 years ago and have carried every day. You'll also notice that there's no rust there. I'm not a huge fan of Cerakote for fancy dress pistols, but I do understand why guys use it, especially guys building the quote-unquote fighting guns. The finish, while it seems to wear off, right? My pistol is missing, 20% of its finish or so at this point, but the gun doesn't rust. And, part of that could be I'm polishing those surfaces every day, taking it in and out of the holster perhaps. But I've gotten that gun quite wet and quite sweaty. Sweaty leather holster is not super kind to a blued gun or even a stainless gun. But Cerakote talks about a ceramic sealing of the metal that happens when you use their product. And I guess I tend to believe that because this gun has never really, other than the grip screws, my carry gun has never given me a lick of trouble as far as rust or corrosion is concerned. Even though I, oil it every 6 months or whatever. So that being said, the Cerakote has its place as a pistol finish. Overall, I think this is a great little carry gun, a great commander size piece from Lou, and a low serial number. If a guy was looking for a gun he could drop in leather and add ammo and go kind of situation, this is a gun I would not be the least bit afraid of dropping some ammo in and dropping it in leather today. I trust Lou's work, and I think it's a great little gun. I appreciate you all tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop in the comments or follow the link in the comments, and you can join our email list. If you like the kind of stuff we present here, that's the best way to hear about it first. And also we'll share any shop news we might have over there via the email list. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks. Have a great day.